Okay, I'll take the mark. Nigga, the guillotine came, cut her head off. Look, just Most High did it. I said, see that? He gave you the way out. You still folded. Most High, you testing people, man. Are you gonna fold under pressure? Precept, go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth until death. Until death. And the Lord shall fight for you.
He gonna fight for those that don't fold, man. Those that don't bend that knee. Give me that reserve 7,000. Right? He's damn, how I'm gonna feed my kids. I done seen brothers go, hey, look, y'all gonna make me do X, Y, and Z? I ain't working this job. Then guess what? All of a sudden they got a job offer, making more money. I done seen it 100 times, right? I'd be stupid to question it at this point. I done seen it over and over again without fail. That's how the Most High got operates, right? So our people gotta understand we can't be folding out here, right? What a like say black and gold will never fold, all right? That's the motto that we gotta have. Never fold, right? You got the piece? You said what? Yeah, no, that's good. That's good right there, though. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, and verse 4. But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
See that? So the Most High, he always got himself a reserve of men that's not going to bow that knee, right? That's not getting ready to fold, right? And you got to hope that you're amongst that group of individuals that doesn't fold, because the ones that fold, ain't no telling what's going to happen. Now the Most High, he going to have mercy too. So some people may get mercy for certain things, but man, hey, sometimes mercy come with a price. Everything come with a price, right? We learned that in the scripture. Look at King David, right? King David committed adultery, got a nigga killed, right? Over a girl, right? People go, well, King David didn't get put to death, but what did King David? He still paid the price. His baby died, and his son took his wife and had sex with her on the top of his palace in front of everybody, right? I mean, some niggas will take death over that. Your son took your girl and had sex with her in front of everybody, right? And your baby died, and you had war your whole life. So he still pay. It's still a price to pay, right? That's what our people gotta understand. Even if you get great, even if you get mercy, you gonna pay in one way or another. You gonna pay for your debt. All right. Go ahead, precept. Go ahead.
2 Maccabees 4:17. For it is not a light thing to do wickedly against the laws of God.
It's not a small thing, and it's so crazy. It's so crazy how easily people will tell you that, right? That breaking the laws of God is a light thing, right? How easy it is for people to just act like entire doctrines are created. It's called a Christian church. Maybe you've been there. The whole concept is it's a light thing. Don't even worry about that. That's a light thing. Give me Matthew 5. That's plain and simple and to the point, right? It's plain and simple and to the point. What Christ said in Matthew 5, right? Yahweh Shai said in Matthew 5. Right, go ahead.
Matthew 5:19. Whoever therefore will break one of these least commandments.
Whoever break the least commandment, man. Right? Deacon was talking to some brothers. They talking about, man, don't worry about the next fabric law, man. Right? Wait, is that the least commandment? Read it again.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Whosoever shall break one of these least commandments, man. Oh, the only ones I tell you, you shouldn't spend. You don't have to. Not you shouldn't. You don't have to spend that much time understanding, are the ones pertinent to sacrifice, because we don't even have the ability to keep those things right now, right? Because we don't have a standing temple, we're not in the land, right? But outside of that, you should diligently God we got, where you still gonna be great, because the least, give me the least in the kingdom shall be greater than the judge, right? That's important. It's really important to understand these things, right? But at the end of the day, give me Romans 11:25, right? Because this is what you have to understand, even with all this being said. At the end of the day, all these people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? All these people that didn't ask, count 26, they didn't ask to suffer for the last 500 years, right? The Taino Indian that got invaded, right? The West African that got taken, brought here in slavery, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 25?
26.
26. And verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved.
And that's what it is. So all Israel shall be saved. They can believe, they cannot believe. Ultimately, we all are going to have our kingdom, our dominion, and our rulership, right? Ultimately, all of us. Think about this, the Scandinavian, this damn devil, right? Scandinavian. That was up here earlier, right? His ancestors, they didn't conquest the world. Like he said, he's from the damn Baltic state somewhere, right? Damn Sweden or, somewhere, whatever, wild places, right? But guess what? The work that them other crackers did, it paved the way. He get to live it up now, right? You see that? So guess what? Those of us that keep the commandments and do what we supposed to do, who gonna reign with Hamashiach, we paving the way for all our people to have a kingdom. Right? It is what it is, right? And that's fine. Some people have a problem with it. You shouldn't have a problem with it, right? I thought this was about loving the Most High, loving our people, right? Go ahead.
Matthew 11 and 11. Verily, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
So when you see John the Baptist in the Bible, the cousin of who you call Christ Yahushua, the one who baptized him, right? Yahushua said, among everybody living, there ain't nobody over John the Baptist, right, Reed?
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
So he's telling you, if you don't keep commandments, you're going to be least in the kingdom, but you're going to be greater than John the Baptist, right? What does that mean? That's dealing with the status that John the Baptist had on this earth, right? John the Baptist was arguably the most honored prophet in the world. Everybody, the sinners, damn the heathens, Esau, they all honored John and put respect on John the Baptist and didn't want to mess with him. When it came to put John, give me that when they tried to put John in prison, how he was scared to put John in prison because he thought it was going to be a riot because everybody knew and loved and acknowledged John the Baptist. And that's how every Israelite is going to be the least status of an Israelite. Everybody in the world is going to acknowledge you, right? Just we'll take a look at the white man, right? Everybody in the world just acknowledges you. That's white, right? We don't want to commit a crime against him, right? Because they're gonna call the cops, they're gonna throw us under the jail for doing that to a white person. Oh, for real? Why? Because there's honor that's set upon him, right? Well, every so-called black and Hispanic is going to have an even greater honor, right? An even greater honor. They're going to be afraid to even look at you the wrong way. Just like, remember back in the day, a Negro was afraid to even cut his eyes at the white man. Right? That's how they're going to be. That's what Yahushua, who you call Christ, is talking about when he said the least in the kingdom is going to be greater than John. Go ahead.
Mark chapter 6, verse 17. It says, for Herod himself had sent forth and laid hold upon John, and bound him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. For John had said unto Herod, it is not lawful for thee to have thy neighbor's wife.
So he cursed him out, right? Go ahead.
Therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him, and would have him killed him, but she could not. For Herod feared John.
He what?
Feared John.
So this is Herod. This is a white man, right? What would he care about John the Baptist? Some crazy nigga in the woods talking to the wind, right? That's what they said. He wore a camel skin garment and talked into trees. And that nigga was scared of him, right? Read.
For Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just man and unholy, and observed him, and when he heard him, he did many things, and he heard him gladly. And when
where's the people when they talk about the people? No, not that. It says when Herodias did the dance for him, she did the dance for him, and then she asked for his head. And then he said, I fear for the people. Because he knew that he felt the people were going to have a riot behind him putting John to jail. Right? So these things, they happen, man. Right? There's honor that's put on prophet, but John had the most honor out of any prophet. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And he sware unto her, whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it unto thee, and unto the half of my kingdom. And she went forth and said unto him.
Go up a little bit. Let's see what got her that prophet. Right? Read. A lot of people, they don't know what's going on in the Bible. Read.
And when the daughter of the said Herodias came in. And
so you got Herodias, right? She sends her daughter in at a grown man, right? What you think she sent her daughter in to do? Let's read.
And danced.
And what? What kind of dance you think her daughter was in there doing? Right? To hypnotize this man. Okay? A lot of dance, right? All types of twerking and stuff. These are black people we talk about, all right? And the man is a white man, right? So just, didn't Megan just come out in the video, they dancing in the office for all the white men and stuff, right? Something like that, go ahead.
It says, and pleased Herod.
And what?
And pleased Herod.
The dance, man, it did it, go ahead.
And them that sat with him. The king,
And they put on a whole show. Go ahead.
the king said unto the damsel,
This is the Bible now, guys. All right? I don't think people understand what this book really is about, man. This book is grimy, man. Go ahead.
ask of me whatsoever thou wilt, and I will give it thee.
And he said, listen, it was so whatever you want, right? Go ahead.
And he swore unto her, whatsoever thou shalt ask of me, I will give it thee unto the half of my kingdom.
He would have gave half the control over Israel. Go ahead.
And she went forth and said unto her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist.
Ask for that nigga hand. Go ahead. And why? Because he was rebuking them for adultery. Go ahead.
And she came in straightway with haste unto the king, and asked, saying, I will that thou give me by and by in a charger the head of John the Baptist.
Basically, she wanted John the Baptist's head on a silver platter. That's what she wanted. Go ahead.
And the king was exceeding sorry.
Now he mad, he ain't promised her any damn thing. Right, go ahead.
Yet for his oath's sake, and for their sakes which sat with him, he would not reject them.
That's not the one I'm talking about. We're talking about for the people. Right? Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm making it up. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's what That might be it. Because that exceeding sorrow for that sounded like you were thinking, but you're right, that might be thinking like that. That's what you just read, right?
24. The baptism of John, was it of heaven or of men? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, if we shall say from heaven, he will say, why then believe ye him not? But if we say of men, all the people will stone us.
Yeah, you know exactly. Okay, go ahead, read it.
For they be persuaded that John was a prophet.
Right, exactly. So they wasn't even afraid to speak against John. That's what I really wanted. Because they felt like niggas would stone him for speaking against something that John said. Right? So just think about that. That's the least Israelite is going to have that type of honor. Right? And an even greater honor than that. So that's what we have to understand. So what we're trying to do is pave this way for this kingdom at the end. All right? And our minds have to be on it. Right? But a lot of our people are disillusioned and their minds are on that. That's it, right? Go ahead.
Isaiah 61:9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles.
They say what?
Their seed shall be known among the Gentiles.
It will be well known, right? Go ahead.
And their offspring among the people.
Uh-huh.
All that see them shall acknowledge them.
Everybody that sees Black and Hispanic and the Israelites, 12 tribes, are going to what?
Acknowledge them.
Going to acknowledge us, right? They're going to put respect on us, right? Read on.
That they are the seed which the Lord hath blessed.
They're going to say, this is God's people. These are the blessed people. And the cool thing is, they do it actually right now in little roundabout ways, right? Little roundabout ways. Think about all these boxing matches that's been happening. There's been a fight every other damn week, right? Who's in the damn fight? Right? And no, keep the white boy down, man, right? Sold it out. If it wasn't a Black or Hispanic in the event, is everybody gonna buy that fight? Who's buying the fight? The fight tonight. A Judah fight, right? Let it be two white boys and nobody watching that. Who wanna watch that? You see what I'm saying? Nobody wanna watch that. Everybody's paying to see us. So in a roundabout way, they're acknowledging we're the people that the Lord's blessed. Right? Who was the hero of the World Series? Right? Was it good old all-American white boy? No, that boy Sotel, what he singing on soda, right? Singing so-called Dominican, right? Hero of the World Series. You see what I'm saying? It's us. That's what we gotta understand. It's us. Go ahead.
Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world.
And say what?
You are the light of the world.
We the light, we gonna shine, man. You put us anywhere, Blacks and Hispanics, God damn it, we gonna shine. Right? I said, that's why you got the soul and keep on shining. Because all he said, that's all we can do. I just keep on shining. That's all we can do as Blacks and Hispanics. Right? They got another saying to say what? Cream has no choice but to rise to the top. Right? That's us. That's why they have to create a glass ceiling in this country to keep us. Because if it wasn't, you know what they did last time Esau had power, right? And he didn't create a glass ceiling. Somebody rose up and his name was Septimius Severus, right? Septimius Severus of the Sumerian dynasty, right? Black general in the Roman army that became a Roman emperor, right? Septimius Severus, 173 AD, right? So they understood that when they came back into power, a glass dome had to get put over us. So we didn't come all the way up through the top. They had to create that, right? Because they know the cream ain't got no choice but to rise to the top, right? No choice, right? More on that? Good.
It says, let's start verse 13. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, whereby shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be casted out and be trodden under the foot of men.
And that's what we have to understand. We can't be out here being good for nothing, right? We have to be out here making our righteous contributions like we're supposed to, right? Some of our people, they out here, they rendering themselves good for nothing. It's a waste. It's a waste of potential of a chosen person of God, right? So don't be out here wasting time. Go ahead.
The book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable sacrifice.
Our reasonable sacrifice is the presentation of our bodies. Part of the presentation of our bodies is just coming out here on the streets, enduring the elements, standing on this concrete, right? That's part of it. But other parts of it are simply just being in line with the laws, being in line with faith, because it's contrary to this world to follow the laws of God. This world isn't created to cater to the laws of God. You're finding all types of stuff in it, got all types of abominable ingredients, right? You find out what's in some of these ingredients. You go, what the hell is that about? Right? They put a beaver backside in all the damn ice cream. What? Right? They can't even, I go to Chick-fil-A, I can't even order a shake no more. Because it's beaver in there. Yes, you can't order any shakes in beaver in there. Right? It's beaver. Listen, it's in there, it's in all the shakes. Beaver. Why? I want to know that they put it in the vanilla. I want to know how anybody figured out the rear end of a beaver tastes like vanilla. I want to know, right? But see, this whole place is contrary to keeping the laws of God. So it's a sacrifice to even have to be in this world, and us have to make sure that we walk in the path. Go ahead.
Job 10 and 21. Before I go, whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness as darkness itself.
As what?
Darkness itself.
As darkness itself, read.
It says, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, and without any order.
Without what?
Any order, and where the light is as darkness.
Without the light is as darkness. And so we're supposed to shine, but the light is as darkness. So the good things are looked at as bad, and they're looked at as negative. And the things that are negative and bad and evil, that's extolled as good in this society. So it's a sacrifice even having to be here and making a conscientious effort to stay on the right path. That in and of itself is a sacrifice. So that is a part of the presentation of our bodies as a living sacrifice, right? But that's pleasing to the Most High, right? Go ahead.
Psalm 12 and 8. The wicked walk on every side.
It said what?
The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
So it said when the vilest men are exalted, the wicked walk on every side. That's why we see evil, right, so prevalent in the world right now. Because the vilest man is exalted. Well, who is the vile man, I wonder, right? Who is the one that's looked at as the standard in the earth right now? Oh, I'll tell you who's looked at as the standard in the earth right now. The white man. You don't believe me, right? Who disagree? Are white people the standard of the world right now? Huh? You don't know, right? So, are you well traveled? No? Have you ever seen a video of China before? You ever looked at China before? You know they wear suits in China and ties, right? Can you Tell me why they wear suits and ties in China. Because when I used to watch the Kung Fu movies, they used to have the robes on and stuff with the dragons on it. Why they wear suits and ties now? Because they're following somebody's standard. Somebody set a standard, right? The people that work in these buildings, they wear suits, man. Right? Ties. I'm not saying the common Chinese person walks around in it, but the Chinese business person, he doesn't wear a good old Kung Fu robe, right? He wears a suit and a tie because there's a standard that's been set in the world. And it's white people. That's the standard in the world, right? So let's read it again. Let's just read Psalm 12 and 8, right? Yeah, all right.
This is Psalm 12, verse 8. It says, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
So white people being that standard is an exaltation of it. So when you look at all the evil and wickedness that's overtaking the world, well, the Bible says the wicked are going to walk everywhere when the vilest men are exalted. So that lets you know who the so-called white people are. Daniel 4:17. That lets you know who you are. You are the vilest man. Look at him. There you go right there. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God right there. You see what I'm saying? Where's his robe at? Where's the... We used to be one to rock them days. You see what I'm saying? Where's that at? He don't help me wrong. Right? Because there's a standard in the earth. And everybody saying, okay, we're going to dress like that. We're going to learn English. Right? We're going to learn English, right? See what I'm saying? No? Okay. Okay, so how can you disagree with what I'm saying? Here's the... Because his culture doesn't wear that. Yes, yes. Right? I'm going to tell you what it says. A people conquered the world and standardized the style of dress. No?
That's your point?
Right now, yeah.
Okay. And what does that say about anything? What's the larger point you're trying to make?
Very simple. Let's read. Psalm 12 and 8 again, please.
Psalm 12 and 8. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
So the reason why the world is overrun with evil and wickedness is because the vilest people have been exalted. The people who are the standard are vile, they are disgusting. So it begets more evil and wickedness. It incentivizes evil and wickedness throughout the earth. That's my point. Okay, because again, a people conquered the world and standardized a style of dress.
I see a bunch of different people wearing a bunch of different shit out. I understand it, man.
Okay, so what is a bunch of different shit?
Everybody out here, like there's a lot of different people and all over.
Okay.
All night I went out to people were wearing
Were they wearing t-shirts and jeans? Were they wearing t-shirts and jeans?
What's the standard you're talking about?
T-shirts and jeans.
My man, what's the standard?
T-shirts and jeans.
T-shirts and jeans?
Yes.
I didn't see. I saw some people wearing t-shirts.
Are you wearing a t-shirt and jeans?
No. You look at you see with your eyes. Am I wearing t-shirt and jeans?
You tell me.
Okay. So what's the point you're trying to make the club?
I mean, if you're not following, I've explained it pretty simply, right? So if you're having a comprehension issue, that's personal, right? And I understand.
I'm silly. I wrote the short one, man. Explain it to me in layman's terms.
Listen, I explained it in pretty layman's terms. Somebody conquered the world, right?
Right.
The European people conquered the world.
I'm sorry?
The European people conquered the world.
They're the only people that ever do it?
No, that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
They did. They're not the only ones.
No, but see, why are we deflecting from it? I asked you a simple question and you deflect from it. Don't deflect it.
They did.
Very simply.
They did. Were they the only ones?
No, that's irrelevant because that's not what I'm talking. You're asking me my point and you're trying to repackage my point, deflect,
You asked me a
right, and
question.
redirect. No, it's very
Yes.
simple. Exactly.
Okay.
So let's stay with my linear logic because you're asking me questions.
'cause if
You ain't asking me questions, right?
Humble if you go outside,
I mean, if that's what you think, that's
Go
fine,
ahead. So they
right?
conquered-
So very simply, they conquered the world, right?
Okay, in your mind, yes.
In my mind, or is it a
They're
fact?
the only ones. Go ahead.
No. Did I say they were the only ones?
How can you prove they conquered
Did
the
I
world?
say they were the only ones?
Prove they conquered the world.
Okay, I'll prove it. What language is the primary language of the United States of America? English. That proves that. What is the primary language of Brazil? Portuguese. Oh. What is the primary language of Mexico?
Can you get to the point?
What is the primary language of Mexico?
You're
What is? Hold on.
You're pointing out different languages. Okay.
No. I'm not pointing out different languages.
you are.
I'm pointing out that all the biggest countries in the world, right, that were originally populated by people that did not speak the languages that are the primary languages of them today. That is proof of conquest of the world. So I was going around the Americas, then I'm going to go to Asia, then I'm going to go to Africa, right? Then I'm going to go to the Pacific Ocean, right? And I'm going to show you that all over this world, in all of these continents, something very simply happened.
Different
A
codes, different languages
conquest.
in all those places.
A conquest, right? So again, English in America, this is the Native Americans' land. They spoke various languages. They didn't have a standard language, right? You go to Mexico, they speak
Who was here before the Native Americans?
Nobody.
Oh,
Nobody.
They just popped out the ground. They just popped out the ground. Come on, man. This is so silly, man.
You're so silly. Nobody said Native Americans popped out of the ground.
So it's their land.
I said nobody inhabited this land prior to them.
You know that?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because of archaeology,
Okay.
because of anthropology,
Okay.
right? Do you study those things?
You do?
Yes.
What's your degree?
I went to college for it at University of Washington, okay? So I studied anthropology, specifically of the indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest of this country. So you are disqualified from having this conversation with me, right? Number one.
Okay.
Number two. So now, English in America, Spanish in Mexico, Portuguese in Brazil, English in Hong Kong, English all over India, right? Through the English colonization of East India, right? South Africa, right? What about Ghana, right? What about Australia, right? What about New Zealand? Why do they speak European languages in all of those places, sir?
If you would let me answer. So there's what you just described is a bunch of different people that speak a bunch of different languages that wear a bunch of different things. You're talking about a systematic language is a systematic communication mechanism. So when groups of people decide on a common language, you associate that.
There was no decision made for a lingua franca. That's called a lingua franca, sir. That's what you're talking about.
Okay, can I finish speaking?
When did
Can
the
I finish
people?
speaking?